Welcome back, folks. Welcome back once again to another episode of the Dear Grandpa, It's Michael podcast. Today, I am joined by my good friend Mai Cleary. She is the, founder and creator of Oasis TLC.
That's correct.
We're going to delve right in here. What first inspired you to create Oasis TLC?
I'll answer that question, but I first want to let the audience know what Oasis TLC is.
And, yes, for those that don't know.
Yeah, for those who don't know, it's a farmstead model for autistic adults, and our goal was to take in people who want to live and work on a farm, and take them for life. So also residential piece as well. And what inspired me to create Oasis TLC was our son was diagnosed with autism at the age of 4. And my husband brought home a book called Bittersweet Farms. It's a farm for autistic adults in Ohio. And I grew up on a farm and I live on a small farm. And I thought, well, that would be a really nice, healthy life for somebody with so many things to do. There's so many varied activities, long scheduled day, lots of breaks. And so I went to a support group meeting with people, and I saw the need, and I mentioned the idea, and everybody wanted it. So we formed a nonprofit organization. We worked with the school system to educate our children. And then after high school, we started Oasis TLC for adult life.
Was there a moment that made you realize that families need something like this?
Yeah, I mean, my son is 37 years old, and we have a pretty big school district in Middletown, New Jersey, 17 schools, 2 high schools, 3 middle schools, 12 elementary schools, and there were only 5 people with autism when he started in kindergarten. But the next year, there were 12, and the next year there were 24. And so I saw all these people coming after my son and met the parents who were just, wondering what they were going to do. I mean, these are, my son was nonverbal at the time as well, but there's obviously a need for more educational programs, but then there was nothing after high school either, anywhere. So we started something early compared to what's going now. There's more programs now than there were. But we've been up and running for 15 years now. So,
what is something that people don't see about the emotional side of this work that you guys are doing? Because something like this involving not just the adults now on the autism spectrum, but the parents.
Yeah, I mean, for me, what's been so hard is always fighting, and I'm not a fighter. So you have to become a fighter, and it's not my personality. So emotionally, that's difficult to always, so I speak softly, but I don't back down either, because my son deserves it. And so do all these other people also.
An organization like Oasis TLC, that there comes with that a lot of heart and a lot of the positivity, but there's also sometimes where there's a lot of those hard days where things just don't go the way that you want them to. So what keeps you going on days like that?
Mostly my son. I'm inspired by his fortitude to keep going every day, when people don't understand or he can't get the words out that he wants to, or just the energy it takes to do everything and keep himself together. And I also have a sister with cerebral palsy who had it, I grew up with and was always helping her. She's on crutches, and she just has such a positive attitude they have. And they're so challenged, and so it makes me feel like, well, I can get through this, So
if they can overcome the challenges that they've overcome in their lives, why can't I?
Exactly, yeah.
The word life-changing is a word that gets thrown around all the time these days, but it doesn't necessarily have the impact that it used to. So what does it mean to you, Mai, when a family, when they say that Oasis has changed their lives?
Of course, I feel so good about it. That is why I'm doing it. Yeah, people need support, and to be able to provide that is a privilege.
And I want to ask you, what's a moment that reminded you what the work you're doing and how the work you're doing truly matters to those on the spectrum.
Well, our son was in the regular education route because he was able to take the tests and be included, but he always had an aide with him and went to a college-like program, also not with people with autism. And when he got back to our program and with people who were like himself, there was such a relief in knowing that there were people like himself and they were friends.
Yeah, and connections, not even just friend connections, but almost like an I see you type of connection. I understand what you're going
Yes,
through.
yes. They speak the same language.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. And I find it very interesting as our son didn't talk a lot when he was 5, and he talks a lot now. He's like a sponge, he's really, really picking up on everything. But he never misspeaks. He always thinks about what he wants to say and says it in a perfect way. And I find that very interesting because the communication is supposed to be the hard part, but he communicates better than most people because he really does put a lot of thought into the energy it takes him to get through every day is a lot. And that's why I can't, complain or, he works hard, but it's all about, you know, giving. He wants to give back. He doesn't want to be a burden to me, and he wants to show people that he's kind and he's good and he knows things.
So what can you say is different about Oasis as compared to, say, some traditional support systems that you have?
Being on a farm and having the outdoor work, the animals, the plants, the community connections that we have, having people come in. I think it's the varied activities, the long scheduled day that also has built in a lot of breaks, and the engagement over a long day. Another quote by our engineer, which we use a lot, is engagement is the opposite of anxiety. So if they have a long scheduled day with lots of varied activities that are interesting, and 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 they're not on screens either, they're building skills but staying engaged, and it decreases anxiety. So I truly think just doing all the different things, and it's healthy.
Now, my next question, and this is going to be a very interesting question, I think, and we might be able to use it for a clip. I don't know. What do families tell you they feel when they walk through your doors?
I would say families feel a sense of relief because they see that their adult children are involved in something good.
Hope. I said in the last episode, I'm going to say it again. Hope is a very strong thing. So
Yeah.
what is giving you hope right now for the future of Oasis TLC and what Oasis TLC might become?
I think to have hope, you have to imagine a pathway to where you want things to be. And so, in our area, I have hope because the farms are beautiful, because people want organic food, and people are just, and we sell out our teas and breakfasts, and it makes me see that, and that everyone wants into our program, and we can only take so many people at once. So we're trying to get the funding from the government to make it a sustainable model for anyone. So mentoring a lot of other groups who keep coming to us. Um, and other groups are opening things, that different things. They're not all farms, but there is more and more happening. So that gives me hope too. There's more and more people who need it.
This is a hypothetical kind of a situation that I'm gonna clue you in on right now. Let's say there is a family listening to this or watching this video right now on YouTube, and they feel alone. They feel there is no light at the end of the tunnel, or if they do feel there's light at the end of the tunnel, that it's a train. So,
Yeah.
what would you want them to hear from you directly?
I would say find a group, find a few people who are in your, in the same situation, and get some support that way. Talk to each other, and then try to keep, imagine a way that things could be better, and then that's your route.
Now, my last little question here, and then my last question here on the script, and then I'd like to talk to you about your book as well. So my last question: what do you want people to understand about the importance of Oasis TLC?
I think the importance of Oasis TLC is creating a holistic model that's healthy for people, that um, and it's something the communities can get behind, having an organic farm in their backyard, um, but that it is important for people to engage with other people, engage in various activities, and to not be in front of screens all day.
I mentioned your book. We talked about it during the premiere of our little short film. Explain to our viewers what this book is about.
Well, so our two directors um, helped us put that together. It's just it describes Oasis TLC, our model in depth, and how the farmstead model is working, and so it gives specific examples of how to set up task analysis for different jobs, and to really help people be successful in the parts that they do on the farm. And that's the other thing about the farm, is just there's so many things you can do. So we can find a skill for everybody. So
Exactly. And what do you hope people that read the book, what do you hope they'll do when they sort of take the skills that you guys have and that you guys are now teaching to these other farms? What do you hope they will sort of learn from what you've
I hope they set up their own farms. That's what I really would like to see people do this in a lot of places, because a lot of people want it for their adults with autism, and hopefully people will do that for themselves, but also for their friends, children, so group together and have these farms nationwide, or worldwide.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I know the book's been out for a while. Have you guys received any reviews as to what people have enjoyed about it?
Probably we have, but I actually don't know. Like, I'd have to talk to. I'm so busy on a day-to-day basis. I'm never checking up on myself. So anyway,
That's understandable.
so anyway, yeah. So um, yeah, I do give it to people. We are mentoring a few groups in our area. So they are using our book, and they're very grateful for it, and thankful, yeah, to have that.
Now, I don't have any other questions here on my little thing. Is there anything else that you would like to let cyberspace know what about what you guys are doing with Oasis TLC, or what's next for you, or things like that?
I think we talked about most of it, but I want to thank you, Eric, and I hope people recognize your talents, and I'm happy to do this for you guys. So that's all.
Once again, thank you to Mai for joining me today, and thank you to everybody that has watched these last few videos we've done and has stayed with us throughout the whole of the program. Do all of the cyberspace stuff, like, comment, subscribe. Tell us who you want to see here next on the podcast. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts, and we hope to see you again next time.